Curry 7 is a complete software package that includes acquisition as well as data analysis. And it's the acquisition part that I want to show you now. You'll start off by creating a configuration file, and this is simply the place where you select what amplifier you want to use, what sampling rate, and AC or DC mode, and so forth. You save your selections as a configuration file. We supply you with a number of them, and you can create your own. And you can have multiple configuration files if you need them. Then you create a sensor placement file, and again we supply them for the caps that we sell, and this is what the cap 64 looks like, and that gets saved as a separate file, and you can have different ones as you need them. You can also create different montages. Again, we supply a number of them. You can always change them and create them however you need, and you can apply these online or offline at any point. So now let's take a look at part of the acquisition. I have it set for simulator, so I can replay an existing data file, and I'm going to select one, and now I'm just replaying the file as if we were monitoring it from a live person. So one of the things I might want to do is to have more than one display. So I can set it to have, in this case, 2 horizontal displays, and I'm going to synchronize the views so that any change I make to one will be reflected in the other. Notice also that you can grab the sliding bar and go back to the beginning of the file. This is a look back feature, so you can always go back and look at what you've already recorded, and the data are still being recorded as we're doing this. Right, so now let's say I want to keep one of these views as the raw data. This is what will be recorded, and the other view is what we call processed view, and it's whatever you see in this file or in this display is what will be used in the rest of the program online. So if we're going to do template matching or artifact reduction or create averages or anything else, it will use the processed data rather than the raw data. So now in the processed data, I'll add some filtering, so it's just 1 to 30 Hertz, and that's applied instantly. And the next thing I may want to do is take the blinks out, or at least reduce them, so I will go ahead and set it up accordingly. And now when a blink occurs, as it does here, it shows up in yellow, and it's reduced down here. These are the data that will be used in all the remaining analyses online. So what we might want to do next is look at online averages, and you can see at the top there are type 1s and there are type 2s. So we'll create averages for both of them. I'm going to change the epoch interval to -200 to 800 milliseconds. So all of the averages will use that, and I'll just create new averages for the type 1s and 2s. And as they occur, you'll see the type 1s are kind of a reddish color and the type 2s are kind of greenish. And you can see the epochs that are being selected for the average. If we want to look at the averages, I'll just switch to it, and I'll change the display to, let's do side by side, and I'll synchronize them and do a position plot. And so now any change we make in one will be reflected in the other. If we want to compare the two, all we have to do is select average. We're looking at type 1s now, and if we want to include the type 2, we can overlay them. We can take the difference, or we can do both. So I'll just do both. And if we take a close look, the original type 1s are this darker color. The type 2s are this kind of greenish color, and the difference between them is this kind of purpley color. And you can save the online averages if you want to. Let's get rid of those. Now, a couple of other things you can do. Let's say that this is something that we're interested in, so we can send this to functional data. Then now we go to functional data, You can set it as a butterfly plot. Here's the bad channel again. But if there was something in here we wanted to look at, for example, if we wanted to do just mappings, we'll do functional data and maps, and I'll change it for a single map. And then now any time I move the cursor, we can see what the corresponding map looks like. And we can go on and do just about any of the offline analyses. If we wanted to do source reconstruction, we could. We just select the head model, which dipole we want to use, and so forth. So let's go back to acquisition, and now if we wanted to show all of the displays at once, we could. I'm going to go back to let's go back just to the average, and this time I'm going to take the position plot off, do a butterfly plot, and if we wanted to do an FFT of the average, we can just click Spectra, and it's better to take butterfly plot off. And so that gives you an idea of just some of the things you can do online. Let's go back to the continuous data. If we want to insert annotations, that's easy enough to do. We can go to the annotation list. You can set these for anything you want. I'll select the raw data to do this, and let's say that at some point the person opens their eyes and we just click the 5, and now we've got the event in, and you'll see them in both displays. And then eyes closed, you just do the next one, or you can just hit the numbers on the keyboard. And as is true any place in Curie, you can select colors for just about any part of the display that you're looking at. So that gives you a general idea of what you can do online. There are more things. I can't show you everything online that can be done offline because it would take quite a bit of time, but you get the idea of what Curie can do online. If you have parameter settings that you want to use all the time, you can save them as study parameters, and that creates a separate file, and you can use that file anytime you want to use these particular parameter settings, and you can have multiple study parameter files. So that gives you an idea of what can be done online with Curie 7.